Hello and welcome, everyone. We are so glad to have you at the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Jeannie and I will be your facilitator for the event. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. Your camera and your microphone are off today, so our panelists cannot see or hear you. However, you do have a Q&A button on your screen, so feel free to get those questions into our institutions at any time during today's event. You don't have to save your questions until a certain school is presenting. If you have a question for any or all of our presenters today, go ahead and use that Q&A button at any time. This is one of many different sessions happening, so make sure and check out that schedule so you can jump into other sessions after this. And then also this presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Illinois. All right, now on to our main event. I am going to turn it over, and kicking us off today, we have Champlain College. Whenever you are ready, take it away.
Okay, let me make sure that you're all set. Can see my screen and we're ready to go, right? Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Diane Saboski. I'm the Director of Admission at Champlain College in beautiful sunny Burlington, Vermont. Yes, Vermont. We are a school of 2,100 students total. That is our on-campus population. We also have an online program, but traditional on-campus is just about 2,000 students hailing from 40 different states and over 18 different countries now. We are a small school with a small student to faculty ratio as well as average class size. So you really get that personalized attention if that's what you're looking for and craving. There are four main divisions or areas of the college: our School of Business, our Center for Education and Human Studies, our Communication and Creative Media division, as well as our Information and Technologies and Sciences division. So you can see here the majors that are offered as each part of our program. Students typically come in declared with a major, and they can start their program directly. You'll get into those classes in your major on day one here at Champlain College. However, if you're not sure, if you're deciding between a few or you're still undecided, we do have a number of students who come in declared, and we'll take a sampling of classes that interest them and then decide in their second semester or second year at Champlain. So I'll give you a moment to look there. These can all be found as well online. Our minors, as well as our areas of concentration, overlap and can overlay with your majors. So there's a lot of customizable pieces and components to your education. Many of our students, almost all, in fact, complete one or more internship while they're at Champlain College. And that could be in the local area at Burlington. It could be over the summers or over breaks going out throughout the country or the world. We have two international campuses, one in Dublin, Ireland, one in Montreal, Canada, that are brick and mortar buildings that Champlain owns that you can travel to. You can study there for a semester or a year. You also can intern up there, and we'll help you find those internships as well as get your student visas and work permits. We also have partnerships with other schools if you'd like to study abroad in another area, but we feel that that experiential component is very important to someone's learning. And here at Champlain, we'll help connect you to those opportunities. In terms of student life and residential life on campus, all of our first year students actually live in old renovated Victoria era mansions. So we have 21 Victoria era mansions that you can call home in your first year. They're really fun. They're really unique. No two rooms are the same. It makes it quite a challenge for res life when they're trying to describe what your first year room may look like, because they do not have standard dimensions. Many of them have old fireplaces in them, non-working. We ask that you not use those, or mantles, or big marble mantles, or cutouts of, previous dining halls and all kinds of things. So they're very unique. They're very interesting. And they all were bought out. They were native to the area. We bought them up and we renovated them rather than tearing them down to build our buildings. So as you're walking around campus, our campus blends very seamlessly into the community and the neighborhoods around us. At Champlain, we have over 60 student clubs and organizations. We also have over 16 varsity intramural and recreational sports. Esports, varsity esports is our newest big one. Big gaming programs at Champlain. We're known for some of our gaming majors. So that's very attractive. Over a third of our students typically have been involved in some kind of game major and or esports on campus, but there's something for everyone. From the eco club to the knitting club to the rugby club, you will find something that interests you. And if not, it's very easy to start up an organization with peers who are also interested in something that you are. One thing to mention of where we're located in Burlington, Vermont, we are about 2 or 3 blocks from downtown, from Church Street, which is kind of the main thoroughfare in that area. And we are sandwiched in between downtown Burlington and UVM's campus. So our campus touches their campus, and St. Michael's College is about 3 miles away. So between the 3 schools, there are 14,000 college students in Burlington. We are about 2,000 of those, and then the other schools comprise the rest. So great college town, often noted to be a great college town, great place to be, very safe environment. So if you have more questions for me, feel free to drop them in the chat, and I'm happy to answer anything that you need to know. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That was a great way to get us started. All right, we are going to go ahead and keep on moving. We're going to hear from Macalester College next. Whenever you are ready, take it away.
Just took me a minute to unmute myself. Hello, everybody. My name is Jace Riggin. I use he, they pronouns, and I'm an assistant director of admission at Macalester College. Macalester is a small liberal arts college of about 2,200 students located in the heart of the Twin Cities metropolitan area. That sets us apart. We are one of very few top liberal arts colleges located in a large global metropolitan. We are a mission-driven institution, and we are grounded in our values of academic excellence, multiculturalism, internationalism, as well as service to society. Our students are not afraid to say who they are, and in fact, our mission and our ethos are the primary reason why many of our students choose to apply to Macalester and in fact enroll. Thinking about our location, Minnesota is a fantastic place to go to school as well as call home. Some fun facts for you as we get started: green spaces, more than 4,000 miles of paved bike trails, as well as 10,000 lakes and 17 Fortune 500 companies. You'll notice here on this slide some of our famous musicians and Minnesotans, including Lizzo, Judy Garland, Prince, and more. Thinking about Macalester, internationalism as well as global citizenship are not new values to us. Mac's long-standing and enduring commitment to this part of our mission traces all the way back to the 1950s, when our President Turk, who was a World War II veteran, raised the UN flag on our campus, where it has flown since 1950. Currently, about 16% of our student body are international students. There are 98 countries of citizenship represented on our campus, all 50 states, as well as our student body collectively speaks over 75 different languages. Thinking about our campus community, in the past few incoming classes, roughly 35% of our students, domestic students, identified as Black, Indigenous, or as students of color. 17% of our students are international, as I said before, and all of our students are valuing an inclusive as well as diverse community. Lastly, and oddly, I want to highlight that Macalester does not require volunteer hours. But what's incredible is that our students' desire to be involved in the community. 96% of Mac graduates report doing some type of civic engagement or volunteering during their time at Macalester. The Twin Cities are a great place for internships as well as career exploration, and Macalester has you plugged in. We are home to the state capitol as well as numerous nonprofit organizations, CBOs, and other grassroots organizations. Macalester has on average 200 plus academic for credits as internships, as well as 200 plus internships within just 8 miles of our campus every year. Internships, civic engagement, as well as off-campus work are available to our students during the academic year, but also during the summer and during winter breaks as well. Macalester is a great place for STEM students as well as research. 40% of all students at Macalester are STEM-based majors, as well as 80% of our STEM students are completing some type of independent or collaborative research during their time at Mac. Mac is an immersive, tight-knit, as well as academically rigorous liberal arts college. We ask a lot of our students, you're going to work hard and you're going to be engaged. However, the minute you want to pop the bubble, you have the ability to step outside of our campus and find a third home amongst the Twin Cities to support your passions as well as interests. Looking at the opportunities provided to students academically on our campus, we have 39 majors as well as 40 minors. The newest major added at Macalester is a data science major within our mathematics and computer science department. One distinguishing facet of the Macalester curriculum are our concentrations. These are kind of like a focus. These take up the space between a major and a minor, and they are interdisciplinary in approach. Thinking about some of those, human rights and humanitarianism, as well as community and global health and urban studies are some of the most popular concentrations at Mac right now. Last two would be our mission-specific curricular requirements, having students take courses within our values of international cooperation, as well as multiculturalism here at Macalester. Life at Mac is engaging and vibrant. We are an NCAA Division III institution. Joining student groups or ensembles is a great way to get involved, and it's pretty easy. Like most liberal arts colleges, find 3 friends and an advisor like myself, and you have a student organization. We do not have any Greek life at Macalester, no fraternities or sororities, but we do offer various specialty housing opportunities. Macalester has various early decision as well as a non-binding early action round for students to choose to apply through. There is 0 application fee. We are test optional, and we meet 100% of your family's demonstrated need. I encourage you to use our quick cost calculator, which is my intuition. It is 6 questions, 3 minutes, and gives you a good sense of your family's financial eligibility here at Macalester. A few notes on return on education before we end. In an average year, 94% of our students are either employed, continuing their graduate studies, or involved in a service-based program like the Peace Corps within 6 months of leaving Macalester. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your day. Nice to see you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Macalester College. Another great presentation. Okay, moving on. We are now going to turn it over, sticking in Minnesota, and we're going to hear from Carleton College. Take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, let's see if I can share my screen. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Can everyone see this? All right, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jamie Robinson. I'm an admissions officer at Carleton. I'm also a Carleton alum. I'm a proud member of the class of 2020, and I'm super excited to be here and give you all some information and some background on Carleton. Just to start, right, Carleton is a small liberal arts institution similar to Macalester College, but we're not located in the Twin Cities. We're located in a small town that's about 45 minutes south of the Twin Cities. And so we are located in Northfield, Minnesota. Small in terms of our population, right? And so the town of Northfield is around 20,000, but also the institution itself, right? We're roughly around 2,000 students, and our students are coming from all 50 states across the country, right? And 50 plus countries across the world. And so just a breakdown of those demographics, the majority of our students do come from the Midwest. So a little more than 1/3 of our students do come from the Midwest, but our students, again, right, are coming from the West Coast, are coming from the East Coast. Surprisingly, our second highest population with regards to states are students that are coming from California. So super interesting that anyone from California would want to come to the frigid cold winter of Minnesota, but our students are coming from all over as mentioned. As I mentioned already, right, we're about 45 minutes south of the Twin Cities. And so if you're someone who wants access to city life, right, if you're someone who lives in a city now and wants access, you definitely do. And so 45 minutes away from the Twin Cities, we're about 45 minutes away from the Mall of America, which is the largest mall in the country, of course, about 45 minutes away from the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, right? So great access to those things, while also being able to have the small town vibe if you're someone who's interested in that, right? If you're someone who lives in a small town now, or, you know, if you all are from Chicago and you're living in the big city, right, and you want to get away, or you want to, you know, try a new setting or something like that, right? Northfield is a really great place for that. We share the town with another small liberal arts institution, and so St. Olaf College, we call them the institution across the river, but they share the town with us as well. And so it's a very small town, very great community, right? And great access to a lot of different things, as Macalester mentioned, right? Because we have access to the Twin Cities, we have access to all that they offer in terms of internships and job opportunities and grad opportunities as well. In terms of academics, there are a couple of things that I want to highlight that do make Carleton different from other institutions that you may hear on this call. The first is that we run a trimester system at Carleton. So the traditional model is the semester, where you have kind of 2 15 to 16-week semesters that are split down the middle. At Carleton, we have 3 10-week terms. And so we have a fall term, a winter term, and a spring term. During those terms, you'll take 3 classes. And that allows you to get an in-depth understanding, but also to go and explore a variety of different areas of study and different disciplines throughout your year. And so within that calendar year, right, within those 3 10-week terms that we have these really great breaks as well. And so our winter break is pretty long, right? And so other institutions, you may go home for Thanksgiving, come back for finals, and then go home again for your winter break. At Carleton, you finish your finals the Monday before Thanksgiving, and then you don't come back to school until the Monday after New Year's. So you get this really long 6-week break, right? For you to do nothing, right? And just sit around, right? Pick up that summer job that you had. Or you can get an externship, right? And an externship is a mini experiential internship that we offer to students. And so these are Carleton specific opportunities, meaning that they are only offered to Carleton students and only offered by those who have a connection with Carleton, right? So alums, parents of students, right? Parents of alums, different things like that. But students definitely take advantage of that winter break. In addition to our summer break, right? Our summer break is about 3 months long as well. And so students are definitely taking advantage of those internship opportunities, whether those be in the Twin Cities itself or across the country, sometimes even across the world. Another thing that makes us special is that we run somewhere in the middle of a core curriculum and an open curriculum, and that we have these general requirements. And so they're these broad umbrella terms, but they have a variety of different courses and disciplines, right, that fall under those umbrellas. And so the one that I like to use as an example is quantitative reasoning. And that's just any course that requires you to look at some data and analyze it. And so you can do that in all of the STEM fields, you can do that in all of the social sciences, and even some of the humanities will have quantitative reasoning courses. So you'll have all of those options, right, and 4 years, right, and all of the agency to choose which courses you want to take during that time. The last thing that I want to highlight about academics is you don't declare a major at Carleton until the end of your sophomore year. So your 6th term at Carleton is when you declare your major. And ultimately, all 3 of those things, right, the trimester system, the curriculum that we have, and this idea of not declaring a major until the end of your sophomore year is to allow students to go out and explore, right? To go out and figure out what it is that they want to study, and not necessarily allow them to have a fixed path for themselves, but to go out and kind of create their own path, right? Ultimately, to then determine what they'll do after graduation, right? And sometimes even what you major in is not even what you go into doing right after graduation. Another thing I want to highlight is that teaching is super important at Carleton. And so we've been ranked #1 in undergraduate teaching by US News and World Report, which means that we have a really great cohort of professors on campus. Our average class size is 15. Our student to faculty ratio is 8-to-1. Research is also big. And so 50% of our students are doing research beyond the classroom. In terms of student life, we have over 200 student-run organizations, clubs and organizations. We have 19 varsity sports. We have tons of offices that are there for social support for students. So tons of different things for students to be involved in while they are on campus. In terms of applications, I just want to show this really quickly, right? We have rounds of decisions, but we have 2 deadlines. And so we have 2 rounds of early decision. November the 15th is our early decision deadline. January the 15th is our early decision 2 deadline. And then January the 15th is also our regular decision deadline. If you're someone who knows that Carleton is the place for you, apply early decision. If you're someone who wants to weigh your options, you can apply regular decision and then figure it out, right? You get time ultimately to figure it out. Also to note, we take the Common App, the Coalition application, the QuestBridge application. We have no preference over those 3, and we are test optional for the next 2 admission cycles. Hopefully more permanently, we'll be holding on to that test optional policy, but for the next 2 admission cycles, we will be test optional. That's all the information that I have for you now. If you have any questions, please feel free to throw those in the chat. Also, I'll be happy to answer any questions toward the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carleton College. That was fantastic. Before we turn it over to the University of St. Thomas, I just want to remind everyone that that Q&A function is live. So make sure and get your questions in for all of our presenters here. All right, University of St. Thomas, we are ready whenever you are. Take it away.
Awesome. Let's see if I can figure out how to share my screen correctly. Are we fully in?
I see. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Awesome. Fantastic. Okay. So hi, everyone. My name is Jada Till, and I'm an admissions counselor at University of St. Thomas. To kind of give you a zoomed out view of our campus and what it kind of encapsulates, I'll talk a little bit about our profile and where we're situated within the Twin Cities. I think one of the most defining characteristics about our institution is our size, as we are the largest private institution in Minnesota. We have about 10,000 students, 6,100 of it which being our undergrads. This allows us to have this very kind of large institution opportunities, such as connections with some of the Fortune 500 companies within the Twin Cities, while also maintaining this kind of close importance of community and personal attention within our campus. So we actually have 3 separate locations that make up our university. We have our main undergrad location in St. Paul, which the majority of our undergraduate programs, residence halls, and athletic facilities are. This is kind of in like a very nice residential area of St. Paul, and is about 10 minutes from like the heart of St. Paul, the city, or the heart of Minneapolis. So it's a very cool place to be in this residential area, but also have this kind of city experience as well. We also have our Minneapolis location, which is houses our School of Law, a few of our undergraduate education programs, the majority of our graduate programs, and our 2-year associate's degree, the Doherty Family College. One thing that's also nice about our Minneapolis and St. Paul campus is that we have a shuttle bus running from these 2 campuses. So if there are students who want to go to a baseball game in the Twin Cities or like a concert or something, it's super easy for our students to be out and involved within the greater Minneapolis Twin Cities area. Finally, we have our Rome campus, which is the Bernardi campus, and about 60% of our students will study abroad during their time at St. Thomas. We have we work on a J-term schedule, so we have 1 semester the month of January and then another semester. And this J-term schedule really allows a lot of flexibility with our students being able to study abroad while also finishing out within that hopeful 4 years. Next, I'll talk a little bit about our academics. We have over 150 different majors and minors at our school. And our average class size is about 21 students. So thinking back to what I was talking about earlier about having this like very big class, a big campus feel, but a small classroom feel, our average class size is about 21 students. You're always having professors teaching your classes. And then also one thing that I found is that really this philosophy of personal attention and care and support are all of the different professors at St. Thomas have for their different students. You can see also on this slide, we have kind of some of the common largest majors, business, health sciences, but we also have a lot of unique majors at St. Thomas, such as actuarial science or entrepreneurship and data analytics, so on and so forth. And then also something that's really exciting coming to St. Thomas is that we are currently going through the process of getting a nursing program at St. Thomas. And so that is proposed for students entering the fall of 2022 as a possible major to come to the school as. And we're really excited about that program and to see how it kind of makes our campus bloom even more. Talking a little bit about student involvement and other things that are exciting that are coming to St. Thomas. We recently made the shift from D3 sports to being part of the Division I. So you can see our different Division I leagues that we're on there, and as well as that we have 21 different men's and women's varsity sports. And so this is another really exciting thing to see on campus, to see how, all of our different sports teams are becoming D1, and we're seeing how that enlivens our campus and kind of rallies our students. We definitely won our first varsity game, so that was like a big woo, go Tommies sort of feeling. I'll also talk a little bit. We have STAR, which is our St. Thomas Activities and Recreation team that organizes different activities for students to do during their time. So kind of that small campus feel as well that I was talking about earlier. Finally, I'll talk a little bit about our admissions deadlines. So we have a round of early action and then also a round of regular decision. I do not know. I think it just went down. There we go. I think we're good. So our round of early action, our application deadline is November 1st, with admissions decisions and merit award notification being relayed to students by December 15th. And then our regular decision round, which has the application deadline of January 15th. And then students will hear their admissions decision and merit award notification a month later, February 15th. And then finally, as always, the May 1st decision day deadline is when our deposit is required by. One of the nice things about that as well, though, is that up until May 1st, that deposit is refundable. So if you decide like, St. Thomas, this might be the one, and you deposit, awesome. And then maybe, later down the road, maybe I want to, maybe I'm thinking about another school, that deposit is refundable by May 1st. But we also apply on the St. Thomas website as well as the Common app. But otherwise, thank you so much for all of your time today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And please drop any questions or comments in the chat. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you, University of St. Thomas. Fantastic job. We're going to stay in Minnesota and hear now from St. Mary's University of Minnesota. Take it away whenever you are ready.
All right, there we go. Just takes a little while to get all that going. Welcome. I hope you're having a great weekend. I am Brenda Jones from St. Mary's University of Minnesota. We are located in Winona, Minnesota. So Winona, Minnesota is way down in the southeast corner of the state. It's about a 2-hour drive from the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. We are right across the Mississippi River from La Crosse, Wisconsin. And in that area of the state, the landscape is quite different than other areas of the state of Minnesota. There are really high hills next to the Mississippi River, which we refer to as the bluffs. The town of Minnesota, or Winona, Minnesota, is just under 30,000. And within that town, there are 3 institutions. One of them is St. Mary's, which is us. There's also Winona State University, and then we have a small technical school in town. So between all 3 institutions, there's about 12,000 extra students that come to the town of Winona every year. The nice thing about Winona is there's so many fun things to do, so much outdoor recreation. We use the bluffs for hiking and cross-country skiing, sledding. There's 2 lakes in town, which students often use for ice skating, ice fishing. In the time when there isn't winter weather, they often use it for kayaking, paddleboarding, canoeing. There's all sorts of things to do just outdoors in that area. We have a lovely art museum in the town of Winona, and also the downtown area is very quaint with lots of cafes, coffee shops, locally owned restaurants, and kind of cool boutique shops. The campus in Winona is an undergraduate campus only. It houses about 1,100 students with a male to female ratio of about 50-50. It just kind of depends on the year. We also have a graduate campus that's located in the Twin Cities, but the campus in Winona, which is the one that we are talking about today, is just strictly for undergraduate students. As far as campus life, about 85% of our students live on campus all 4 years. It is a requirement that students live on campus for 2 years, but the majority of students do continue to live on campus because there's just so much to do there. We own about 300 acres up in the bluffs, along with about 150 acres that are where our residence halls are, our academic buildings. And then along with that on campus, there's like about 10 plus miles of trails that you can hike on up in those bluffs. There's a trout stream. We also have a disc golf course, and there's lots of cross-country skiing there. Like I said, the students do sledding. It's within walking distance to many restaurants, a grocery store, lots of different businesses. But we also have a transit system which comes up to campus and takes you to other areas of town that aren't within the walking distance. We are Division III athletics. In addition to that, we have intramural sports and club sports. Some of our club sports are ultimate frisbee, volleyball, water polo, hockey, Nordic skiing, soccer, and ballroom dancing. About 33% of our students are student athletes, so about a third of our students are participating in some of those sports. We also are very known for our theater and arts. We do have 4 different performance spaces. We do have a dance minor. We also have many different ensembles and choirs. So we do have music, theater, and art scholarships in addition to the merit-based scholarships that you would receive when you apply to St. Mary's. Our music scholarship is one that you can receive even if you aren't a music major. Our theater and art scholarships are only for theater and art majors. As if you're not interested in athletics and you're not interested in theater or the arts, we do have about 50 other clubs and organizations that you can get involved with. Things like Student Activities Committee, Student Senate, Campus Ministry has many activities that you can do. And of course, like I've said, there's lots of outdoor recreation. So we do have lots of things like that that you can get involved in. As far as academics, we do have 40 different majors. 2 of those are selective majors. Otherwise, you can just apply to St. Mary's and you can designate the major that you would like to major in. And we allow you to be in that program and start taking classes in that program from the beginning. The 2 majors that are selective are our 3+2 physician's assistant major, which we do in combination with Mayo Clinic. So you would spend 3 years doing your undergraduate work at St. Mary's, and then you would transfer to Mayo Clinic and do your 2 years of graduate work with them. In addition to that, we have just started with our nursing major, which is a cohort program. Students will apply to that, and if they are selected, they will begin in the nursing program immediately and doing clinicals for their last 2 years. We do have lots of financial aid. We have merit scholarships are automatic, out-of-state scholarships are automatic. If you attend a Catholic high school, you qualify for that scholarship. And also if you are a child of an alum, you would qualify for that scholarship. You can find us all sorts of different places on social media. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those in the chat. I hope to meet you soon. And thanks for joining us on your Sunday afternoon.
Well, thank you so much, St. Mary's. We appreciate that wonderful presentation about the St. Mary's University of Minnesota. All right, we are going to head into our last presentation of this session, and we're going to hear from the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. Take it away.
Thank you so much. And good afternoon, everyone. And as you have probably hopefully enjoyed a wonderful tour of the state of Minnesota, hopefully you are learning that we are an incredible state and there's a lot of different schools here. And for me, I represent the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. So we are the largest flagship public school in the state of Minnesota. We are the Big Ten school that is located right in the heart of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Well, actually right next door. I'll tell you what, I'll explain that in just a moment. To kick us off, for our academic, maybe the slide will move. There we go. To kick us off, let's describe what our campus kind of looks like. So we are a large school, right? Undergraduate body of about 30,000 undergraduate students. I confess I have the 2020 numbers right here. 2021, we're actually a little bit more than this. We did a census on Monday and I'm hoping to get those numbers soon. So expect more than about 31,000 undergraduate students. We are a predominantly white institution. I didn't want to slide that past anybody. As you can see, a full breakdown of our by students who identify by particular race or ethnicity on our campus. You can see that here. I do want to say though, we are a campus that is very DEI, SJ, diversity, equity, inclusion, and social justice minded. We have our Go for Equity project, which is something that all of our students, our freshman students, are trying to take a part of. We also recognize that we are a campus that says Black Lives Matter. We also acknowledge that we are on indigenous land of the Dakota people and are actively working to improve the diversity, equity, and SJ, social justice on our campus as well. We also have all 50 states and 88 different countries represented on our campus. And I just want to share for those in Illinois, you are the third largest state on our campus. We have Minnesota, Wisconsin, and then Illinois. So definitely feel represented on our campus, absolutely. For our academics, we have 150 majors and over 135 minors. Now we organize them into 8 freshman admitting colleges. So we do not have a generalized studies program where you can start for a year and then apply somewhere else. No, you do need to start directly into one of these 8 colleges. Now you can apply to transfer between them later on, but for the sake of starting right away, you do need to know a little bit about what you want to do. If you want to explore kind of our majors and where they're located within our colleges, our website, majors.umn.edu. That's the website. That's pretty straight up. I can put that in the chat later on as well, that you can dive into as well. Now our student to faculty ratio is 17:1. So regardless of major, I don't care what major, it's 17:1. So while we are a large campus, that's not too bad. 80% of your classes are fewer than 50 students. 64% are fewer than 30. If you get a class that's bigger than 50, you're typically your first year classes, right? First year chem, first year calc. If you get a class that is larger than 50 students, you are guaranteed a discussion section or a lab section that will partner with your class, caps off at about 30 students, be with a graduate student or professor who's in the same field to help you get your questions answered. Now we have a lot going on campus. Part of our benefit of our size is we have over 900 student groups, more than 200 multicultural student groups, more than 50 Greek chapters, more than 50 intramural sports teams. Really, we're just trying to say with this, you're not going to be bored on campus unless you try to be. You know, you could reject everybody as they reach out to you, but they're coming to you, whether it be activities fair, paint the bridge day, they're showing up at your classes. If you are willing to say yes, I guarantee you someone on campus has similar interest to you. You just got to meet them. Also, roughly 90% of all the research in the entire state of Minnesota goes through our system in some capacities. There's a lot of opportunities for our students. We're also proud of our study abroad with over 200 programs in over 60 countries. So 3 weeks, a summer, a semester, if you want to see another part of our incredible earth to diversify your experience, we're proud that we can make that happen. We're also a Division I school. We have 21 NCAA Division I teams within the Big Ten, right? So we're competing with, for example, we'll be hosting Illinois for Parent and Family Weekend. We might have Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin's always the big game. Ohio State recently. I do want to just say we are the maroon and gold state. So like when we think of Illinois, right? Illinois's got U of I, Northwestern, that kind of splits the state's fandom a little bit, right? It's just us, right? We're the Division I school. Well, actually, shout out St. Thomas. Y'all's football team just joined Division I very recently. So shout out St. Thomas. But for a very long time, it was just us, right? So there's a lot of Gopher fans coming to cheer on our sports teams every single year. But here's the thing, is that we are a large state school, right? Tons of student groups, tons of academics, and there are some other large state schools that are like us out there. The fact that what separates us from them is that we have major metropolitan cities literally in our backyard. For example, this photo right here, this is the train. This is the light rail, city train from Minneapolis to St. Paul, goes right in front of our student union. You hop this train, you ride it 4 stops, 20 minutes, you're downtown Minneapolis. You ride it 40 minutes the other way, you're downtown St. Paul. It gives you some immediate access to some incredible things. First, maybe it's access to one of our 16 Fortune 500 companies, which is actually the best Fortune 500 ratio in the country. It was either between us or New York City for Fortune 500 for number of people, but that's pretty good company, right? We have the largest career fair in the state with over 250 employers every year looking for our students. And this also gives you access for what are you gonna do for fun, right? Maybe as you've heard, 6 professional sports teams. I can name you various concert venues, theater venues. We have our own cultural scene with over 70 different languages and dialects in Twin Cities. We have our own restaurant scene. I mean, heck, I've been living in St. Paul for years and I still find a new restaurant every weekend. By the way, for Illinois kids, we do have Portillo's in Minnesota. Just wanna make that plug. Now, this is our cost. This is the full kit and caboodle, basically room and board, miscellaneous fees. I will say, if you're part of our engineering program or our business program, they do charge a $2,000 per year surcharge to maintain their state-of-the-art facilities and labs. So they're the 51 number. Everyone else is 49. This is before any scholarships, any loans, all that. It is automatic consideration for scholarships. But I'm seeing that my time is coming to a close. I want to make sure we get to questions. We are on the Golden Gopher application, which is on our website, or the Common application. We have early action 2, regular decision. We are not binding by any means. We are equal consideration amongst all these as well. Just make sure you stay ahead January 1st. And now here's me, my favorite shirt. But I am going to put this link in the chat and let's answer some questions. Thank you, everybody.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Yes, out there, University of Minnesota, Twin Cities, we appreciate that presentation. And I want to thank everyone who gave information about their campuses today. Very helpful. I'm going to ask all of my fellow presenters to join me on video here, and we're going to go through a very brief Q&A just to get a little bit of more information using the experts we have with us. So the first question I have for everyone is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? We're going to go in the same order, so I'll ask Champlain College to get us kicked off here.
Great. My piece of advice would be to explore at least one school that you've never heard of before, right? You've never heard of, you haven't considered on your list. Someone recommends it to you because they know what you're interested in. Check it out, right? Because sometimes you never know, that may end up being the gem that you end up at. And that's my advice.
I will be very deadline driven. Apply 5 days before the deadline. That is my advice and my insider tip for you.
I would say, unfortunately, we've all had to pivot to doing a lot of things virtually now, right? So take advantage of the virtual offerings that different institutions are allowing you, right? So for Carleton, for instance, right, we're still doing virtual interviews, we're still doing virtual information sessions and virtual tours. If you're someone who's not able to get to campus to do any of those things, take advantage of those options. That's a great opportunity for you to learn about the institution, especially interviews. They're not, most times they're optional, right? But take advantage of that, because not only is that an opportunity for us to interview you as an applicant, but for you to interview us as an institution that you may spend the next 4 years of your life.
Hi, I would say my advice would be to really think about how best you learn and what sort of institution really can best support that. Because I think in the end, college and higher ed is really about finding the best option for you and the best fit for you.
I think my bit of advice is to use your admission counselor. Seek out who works with you in your state and utilize us. We're hired by our institutions to work with high school students, and we love answering your questions. So don't be afraid of us, and do use us when you have questions.
Actually, so Brenda stole mine, so I apologize. So I want to acknowledge that she said something fantastic. And I would like to add on it by just adding a little bit of we are admissions counselors. We're not denial counselors. Work with us to help you get admitted. That is what we are here for. We want you to be admitted. We're not here trying to figure out how to deny you. So just think of us that way. Do not be afraid to reach out to us, because asking us questions is not going to be like, you asked me a silly question, I'm going to deny you. Absolutely not. We are here to help you get admitted. That is our job.
Fantastic. Well, great advice, everyone. We're so fortunate to have all of this expert advice on this panel. That is the only question we have time for this event, but don't worry, there are many other sessions coming up, so make sure that you jump into one of those sessions. But as we close up here, I just want to once again thank all of our panelists for their expertise, and also thank all of you for taking time this Sunday to learn about each of these campuses. I hope you learned something and that you'll do some Googling to learn a little bit more, maybe reaching out to the folks you see on your screen here today. Just a few reminders as we make this transition. As I mentioned before, this is one of many different sessions, so you can catch the full schedule back where you signed up for this session and jump into additional sessions for this event. This session, along with all of the others, are being recorded, and you can find all of those at strivescan.com/Illinois. I went ahead and put that URL in the chat for you one more time. And then last but not least, when you close your window today, you're going to get a very quick few questions survey. Any advice you can give about this event would be helpful as we make additional events for you in the future. All right, once again, thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care now.